Welcome to Yeshiva Daf Shir sponsor Lui Nishmas. I'm Yapashom Nabas Yitzchok. We're holding Basra Daf Kuf Chof. We're starting in Mud Aleph, 3 lines from the top of the wide lines. Beginning of the sugya, continue the sugya of Menois Tlofchot. Says later we have the Menois Tlofchot based on their age. And now we count them based on their wisdom. How do we know that? So the Rashbam explains, really goes up from the Rashbam. We don't know that, but we assume that's the case. Look at the Rashbam, the second wide line. They're married to cousins. It makes sense that they were born that way. You get married based on age. The older one gets married for the younger one. Why? Because the order changed. It says so in marriage it makes sense it went based on age, and in front of Moshe it was based on chachma. When you talk about in yeshiva, in Bispread, in learning, you go based on chachma. In a party, and you let people to talk, he says the same thing by marriage, you go based on age. It's only if someone who's extremely chacham, so you go with him, or someone is extremely old, so then you follow him in the mesibo. But if it's not muflok, so then you don't have these rules. And then what do? So Rashbam addresses it. Rashbam has a longer richus to address it. So he says like this. We'll go right there in the middle. He says like this. Nobody's too muflok. Then you go based on age. They're both very old, very chacham. And they don't have this greatness. Neither of them. You go based on one of them. Probably go based on the old one. You have a younger guy, he's a bit to chacham, but he understands, you give it to the zokin. So that's the rule that goes over here. It says they were all equal. The Parshat Shad is that's the reason the pasuk changes the order. There's no reason why they changed the order except to show you that there's no order. They're all equal. This is the big chiddush that Menois Tlofchot can marry any shevet. He can marry anybody they want. It says they can marry only people from their shevet. The Torah says it makes more sense. Marry the one who's more proper for you from your shevet. But the Isser, to marry anybody from another shevet, was something that was only to other people, not to these five girls. Moshe Rabbi asked, it says in the Pasuk, tell people in Har Sinai in the next generations that the Pesukim of the Torah apply to both. So why have to say both? This generation, next generation. There's some Pesukim that apply only to the first generation, not to the next generation. And it's all applied to the next generation, not to the first generation. By the Bava it says that a daughter in Eretz cannot marry someone from another shevet. So that doesn't apply to the body, only to the Elvis, as we'll see in the next half. And some many mitzvahs the body have, the Elvis don't have, referring to that the body that went into Eretz Yisrael to have mitzvahs at Tuis Baritz when the Elvis don't have it. The Elvis have things the body don't have. There's some mitzvahs to the body the Elvis don't have. That's why in general we give you both. All this point in the Torah tell you they both apply to both. It says clearly that it says in the first generation, now let him marry from the other Shvatim. So he asked the question, he brought the answer, yes, nobody in that generation can marry anybody from another Shevet except the daughters of Tzlafot. They will be different. Now, it's a Gavaldik Ye'ara to think about. Be'ez Hashem, we'll talk about in the Shor Machshava. How can you understand the Pashup Pshat? Pashup Pshat in this thing. What was the story in the Torah? You open the Torah. But Tzlafot come to Moshe Rabbeinu, Parshas Pinchas, and they say, we want to get an inheritance. Moshe Rabbeinu says, okay, well, he goes to Hashbon. Hashbon says, you're right. If someone dies with no boys, you give the nachlo to the girl. 2 parshas later, comes the Roshei, the heads of Shir Menashe, and they say, look what happened now. You gave no tzavchot. A chelik, they will marry someone from another shevet, and the nachlo will move from one shevet to another. So, that's not right. So it says, Moshe Rabbeinu brings it to Hashbon. Hashbon says, you're right. Marry only from the same shevet. So the whole taino of Nesim of Menashe was because of Bnei Tzlafot. And I tell you, Bnei Tzlafot themselves can marry anybody they want. Not understood. Maybe a peep shot you could say that Bnei Tzlafot passed through the cracks. The word is already done. But come to Nesim and say, but now anybody else who's a daughter will get it. And you will have many nachlas leaving. So for 5, okay, we gave it up. It's already done deal. But going forward, I want to make sure it won't happen. Maybe. Says the Gemara, how do we know it's only that generation? Only that generation. In the next half we'll see what they did it stop. When it says Zeh Dover the Shchuti Chutz, so you're not allowed to shift anything out to the Beis HaMikdash, a carbon. It says Zeh Dover, the Pasuk says, Zeh Dover, Asher Tziva Hashem Lemor, and the Shchuti Chutz. Says the Gemara, Nam Lo Yinegel B'Dor Zeh, Shani Yos Nechtiv Le Dorosa. It says clearly Le Dorosa, all generations. Says the Gemara, if so, Daf Kuf Chof Amud Beis on top, Zeh Dover the Roshei Amatos, when it speaks about Hatoras Nedarim, it says also Zeh Dover. Hachinam Lo Yinegel B'Dor Zeh, only that generation. You only Zeh Zeh Meosov. The Zeh Shov is Zeh Zeh. You learn from Shchuti Chutz. Hainam you live Zeh Zeh Meosov. So also by Nachlo learn Zeh Zeh Meosov. Haimai. Visual also means Tzich Zeh Shov. There, what am I doing in Zeh? You have Gzera Shova anyway. What's Gzera Shova? That as the Rashbam says, the Rashbam, Mishua also Mishchuti Chutz of Nedorim. La'ak because of Zeh, that Yitzich la'ak Gzera Shova to be in the Mir B'Sovach. You need a Gzera Shova. Chedashir l'nami la'ak Gzera Shova kedam more in the Karmelon. In Gzera Shova l'chatzoy. You need for another Gzera Shova. Hoch l'mayitzich. Why here you need it? Lish tekor mini. V'ani adai l'dorisu. If you don't say anything, you'll say that Issur of moving a Nachlo does apply for generations. So why I'm saying Zadar, for what purpose? So the fact that it's Zadar, it's a mute tell you only this generation. Meaning it says there by Shchuti Chutz, it says there by Toras Nedarim. Meaning, by Shchuti Chutz it says Dabrel Aaron Bono will call Yisrael. So when you're done, you're talking to everybody. What does it teach you? And just to finish the drasha, by Nidorim it says Rosh Hashanah, the heads of the Nesim, and also the Rosh Hashanah. What does it mean? That the Shchuti Chutz include Rosh Hashanah. Explains the Gemara. What does it teach you? I want to tell you, anybody in Am Yisrael can be Mefer Neder. And if you don't have your Adayin Mumche, 3 Yidyotis is good enough. It says Rosh Matos. In other words, if it's a yochid, if it's a mumche, even one is enough. If it's not, you have to have 3 jurors. That's how you do a Torah Nedar. The other Joshua, we said, Rosh Hashanah ben Nedarim. Rosh Hashanah b'shchut yichutz was a tissue. The same way I can be matir and nether, he goes to matir a hektish. Someone's in matir something he has a regret. He goes to the chacham, able to matir. Similar with Shabbat Dami and Sheil behektish. According to Shabbat, it says no such thing. Why did Shabbat Dami hektish toes hektish over Siddur Enu hektish? Meaning, what's hektish toes? Person says, I want to be magdish. The first cow that comes out of my house, the white cow, and it comes out a black cow. So it was a mistake. He thought the white cow was going to come out. The actual black cow came out. Isn't it hektish or not? Shall we say it's hektish? So says the Rashbam, Kol Shekin, the Kabi HaTorah. Because what is that? What he called to Torah's Nedarim, what are you trying to do? You try to take a neder that's there and say, you probably didn't think about this and this option, and that's how you matter. So if I know for sure it's a mistake, it's not mufar, it's not gone. So Kol Shekin, if I don't know it's a mistake, the Chacham can be matir. So B'Shamai hold that you don't have Sheilu Behektish. So what do you do with that? So you can't say it's like Zera Shava, because they don't learn Zera, you don't say Zera Shava Chatzai. And they hold, you don't have Sheilu Behektish, there's no Zera Shava. Says the Gemara, special din, you can do shchita. Shchita is also outside, but milika, person is milika is what you do to a bird. Killing a bird outside B'Savigdash, you don't have the same chiyuv that you have shchut yichutz. What does that do? Teach you the chacham matir vein baal matir, baal mefer vein chacham mefer. Meaning what? There's a difference. Rashbam explains over here. There's a difference between what the chacham does and what the baal does. The chacham cannot just annul a neder. The translation in English is wrong. Annul means you take a vow and you just take it away. That's what a chacham does. A chacham is not the neder from the beginning. It says, your neder that you thought you didn't think right. Did you realize X, Y, Z will happen? And you realize that tells me that your neder was done by mistake. But it doesn't even start. The husband is able to take a neder which is existing without finding any heter and just annul it, just stop it. So the husband is mefer and the chacham is matir. So that's what it says. This is the way. Chacham matir vein baal matir. And the chacham has the heter but not baal. Baal mefer vein chacham mefer. That first the dime they just don't know a neder only a husband can do and not a chacham. And that's what Rashbam says. Okay, and they say, and he brings also the drushes in the pasuk. Was it going to be B'Shamai the least to Zera Shovo as far as Nedarim Shlosha Dois Minolu? So and then he was going to go on. And this will actually stop over here because it goes to the next staff. But more says according to B'Shamai, they don't have the Zera Shava. If they don't have the Zera Shava, how do they know the 3? Meaning, we learn the Zera Shava Zera Dover to teach you what? To teach you that you could do that all Am Yisrael are involved in Nedarim, the same they're involved with Shut Yichutz. And that teaches you that 3 people could do first Nedarim. Like when they're asked, but Shabbat doesn't have the Gzar Shava, how do they learn it? And the second part of the Gzar Shava was to tell you that you can be made, that you have a Sheil of a Kachu. Shabbat to say you don't say the Gzar Shava, so you don't learn that in Now, and the going back to the beginning of the Amud, this will end. What happened at the beginning of the Amud? The Gemara said, it says Zeh, right? It says Zeh in both. So what are you going to do with that? So the Zeh, it says a Deroiso. Zeh Rosh Hashanah, it says Zeh, why you say it's for all generations? It should be only for one generation. But the child will learn that Zeh teaches something else. Zeh is going to teach you that the Chacham can be matir, not mefer. The husband can be mefer, not matir. That's what he uses it. So Mary doesn't have to use it. It's not extra. So it doesn't teach you. It works only for one generation. But Zeh that you have by Nachlos, you're not allowed to. A daughter who inherits a father can then marry someone from another Shevet. There's Zeh is actually teach you that works only that generation and not the next generation. I said, go, we'll stop over here, continue from here, Be'ez Hashem, in the next daf.